Hi, my name is Al Kohler, and I greeted you when you first entered this center. For the next few minutes, it will be my privilege to provide you with an introduction to the aerospace workplace. Whether you're an old hand getting ready to take the certification exam or a new candidate preparing for your first job in the business, you'll find this brief overview a useful summary of key aspects of the workplace, its history, and some of the major elements that make aerospace one of the most exciting career fields anyone could enter. To get us started, let me tell you just a few things about myself so you can decide whether anything I have to say is worth remembering. Although I've been at the college where I work for more than 15 years, I've taught for more than 30 and was a NASA engineer and program manager during all that time. I began as a summer trainee technician for the Army Ballistic Missile Agency Missile Firing Lab at Cape Canaveral in 1959. In 1960, I was transferred along with the whole von Braun rocket team from ABMA to NASA and became an employee of the Launch Operations Center that would eventually become the John F. Kennedy Space Center in Florida. I worked as part of the NASA team for Dr. Kurt Debus, the first director at Kennedy Space Center, and was part of that team of German and American technicians, engineers, and scientists who helped launch the first men to the moon. I was in the firing room for the historic launch of Apollo 11, and I have lots of stories to tell, but those are for another time. Let's get to the information you want to prepare yourself for the Space Tech certification exam. Let's start by looking at some key aspects of the aerospace workplace, beginning with a brief history and moving briskly through the topics shown on this chart. We'll review the basic theory of what makes rockets work, look at some families of modern rockets from the 60s till today, study orbital dynamics and why there are launch windows that determine when we must launch and how we must fly to reach targets in space. Visit aspects of living and working in space and what that does to the human body. Spend a little time discussing workplace culture and common practices for safety and quality. Talk briefly about what it takes to be a professional technician. Look at systems theory to understand troubleshooting and how technicians of the future are going to think about their work. Explore some of the important concepts in ethics in the aerospace workplace. And end with an overview of some of the exciting new developments on the horizon for your future in the aerospace industry. We won't spend a lot of time on any one area, but there are reference materials for each. And if you find you need a little more depth than we can give you in this short session, please take the time to review the references available to you, either by clicking on the information icons or by visiting the library resource room later on.